The base of my diorama is this part of this. This is about a half of it. Each side of the octagonal column is about 13 inches, and I think these are about 14 inches. And if I had a ruler here, I could show you, but take my word for it. About 14 inches, and from here up to the top, which is roughly here, 2.5 feet or so, is essentially going to be mainly the ground. And the ground in my little dioramas are represented by the corrugated cardboard. Now, because I wasn't thinking very well when I was putting these things together, I did them backwards. I wanted the background all to be brown, instead of the pictures of the whatever was in this box. Both the boxes had child seats, car seats in them. So some of these things can show through. I'm not going to be that anal about it, but mainly this is going to just represent the dirt covered with the debris of construction. Now, I'm going to probably try to add these cardboard mainly within the folds, because if I do this and fold it, it's going to tear or crease or make it hard to fold. So there may be a little bit of overlap that I won't glue down. So, there'll be a little part sticking out maybe. But, and then later, after this thing is put into its place, I will take things like this. I found rolls of this stuff on the side of the highway. Big rolls. I'll take things like this and then sort of span the corner so and then just put a little dab of glue on each end. And when it comes time to take these things down, I don't care about those little bits. Do I care about any of these other little bits? I don't know whether I care about anything these days. So anyway, the bottom, again, is going to be essentially brown. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to cover these now with my hot glue. Is warming up as I speak. I'm going to start just gluing these down. They're going to have a relatively horizontal stratum to them, just because the boxes and stuff, the trucks and stuff are going to be horizontal. So, these may vary a little bit, and maybe this bottom area that isn't going to have too much, maybe that can be more diverse, just because it can resemble just the chaos of what these construction sites look like. Things are just, I'm looking out the window now to see, they're just tossed willy-nilly. These pallets and orange cones, and I'm out of glue. I don't think that there's a COVID-19 glue shortage out there, but I'll go to Target later today and buy more glue. So I don't know what these little squiggles represent. Earthworms. These are these are earthworms, maybe. I don't want to have too much of this happening where you can sort of, we believe in the K, at least for our boxes. I don't know what the K stands for. So, anyway, so today's job, one of today's jobs, is to cover most of the base, if not all of the base, with this kind of stuff. Now, does this little tiny bit of blue bother me? Doesn't right now. It may bother me later. What's bothering me more, though, is I need different colors of brown. This is darker, a little oranger than this, so I want to put some of this in. So in my studio, I have quite a lot of different kinds of boxes filled with different kinds of cardboard, as I showed you yesterday. And some of the boxes, though, contain different kinds of corrugation. This bag, the bag, not a box. This has corrugation that has very small ridges, and it's sort of grayish compared to the brownish here. So I may use some of this stuff a little bit further up to sort of suggest maybe slight delicacy, maybe, if that's the right word. And I wonder what this would look like if I wallpapered my house in this. I think it would be kind of fun. Of course, if you stand anywhere near it with a cigarette, you burst into flames. But I was going to say there's worse ways to go, but I don't really think. I think burning is probably about as bad as you can get. Is this bothering me? It might. Maybe I need to have... I don't have much of this, so I'm going to save that for maybe putting it here and there. I did find some really neat cardboard that my 3/4 roommate had saved for a while, and then he ended up deciding he needed to he needed to clean his studio, so he ended up throwing it out. He was going to use it for he makes designs and repairs and restores stained glass windows, and he wanted to use these big pieces of cardboard to place between the pieces of glass to protect them from each other. But then, as I sometimes realize, I don't need to hoard cardboard. It's not like it's going out of style. But he threw it away, and I saw it. I always admired his cardboard. Now, I saw it, and it was really neat because it was it had been water stained and faded in the sun, and then water stained and folded, and it looked like the Shroud of Turin. This seeing if I can grab it to show you, but I can't. And I thought I would save it for some sort of project that involved the Shroud of Turin. Or some other scam. We have a little vertical. Well, you can't see that, it's off screen. What's happening right now in my little head is I'm not entirely happy with this. And why am I unhappy with this, Pierre? There's a little too much smooth paper here, I think. I need to add more corrugation, which I can do later with this very light stuff. Yeah, that'll look better. Now eventually, again, I'm going to add little bits of color. This is going to have a lot of, let's see, what do I see out my window? I see lots of orange cones and yellow caution tape between them, and there's 3 workers talking to each other when they're supposed to be building a railroad. See, I can talk and work at the same time. Can they talk and work at the same time? No. They can just talk. I tell ya. No, I'm joking. Of course, they're talking about very important things, I'm sure. Now, do you see the game last night? What about Tom Brady? He's leaving us. Tom Brady. Trump supporter. Nobody likes Trump because Trump cheats as well. They both cheat. Deflategate. Massachusetts has I went across the line here. This is gonna rip. I'm also gonna have the bottom here have some of this dangly bit sticking out. It'll be quite fuzzy, but that's part of sort of what I want this to look like. I want this to have a sort of chaos to it, because there will be an area up at the top which will have not gleaming buildings, but it will have rectangular, uncorrugated vertical structures that all of these little Tonka toys I build are making. So that's the plan for this particular job. Here, this is some black printing that I think I'm going to leave. Can you see what I'm doing? You can't even see what I'm doing here. Okay, whatever. Okay, what's they doing? There. Is that going to go there? Feed me. So I may leave some of this here. The printing, I like these little red dots for some reason. Again, it's sort of a pattern and a texture, and what I see out my window are patterns created by the caterpillar treads of these machines, and it's just like that, corrugated ground. And I sort of like that pattern, but I'm also including you know, where one corrugation meets, you know, covers another one, and you've got a sort of zigzag plaid pattern. And I'm throwing that in there. So these little red dots might represent that in my little head a little bit. I think I'll cover up the little baby. I don't want to imply that there's a dead baby buried under my eye. Maybe that could be Jimmy Hoffa. Buried underneath this construction site. Bye, Jimmy. No one will know where you are. Maybe this will represent the San Andreas Fault, that little cut right there. This is all still a little tan. I don't want to do anything like paint. I want this to be purer than that. I think I just need to add more corrugation, because then you have the shadows of the corrugation making it darker. That's glued down here. I've already glued that. Good. I need some more of this. Here. My little earthworm colony. Is this the piece I just tore? I like the back of it better than the front. Or is this a piece I tore? I don't like the back of this very much, but this is your lucky number. My lucky number is 31819. How lucky is that? Oh, there's another piece. I think I need another piece here, up close. Some more blue, maybe that'll represent the groundwater. See, I'm always thinking of a way to get around covering a surface completely. You'll hire other people to do that. I once was hired by a neighbor to do a painting on her door. And the door was a painting of a door. And beyond that was another door and another door and another. The doors were open so you could see into other spaces, which had a door which was open, leading to a further space in the distance. And these were doors that involved her interests in life. She loved Egyptology, so there was an archway that was Egyptian and out of glue. And she liked Scandinavia, and there was this medieval looking Norwegian wooden door. Then there was the door of her childhood home, and it ended up the furthest indoor that had the peephole of her door, her real door, shown in the middle of it, was the Star Trek New Generation 10 forward door. And that's what I'll be hearing for the rest of the day. Anyway, I was painting this in black and white, and we have a rule in our building that you can only paint your door one color. The door can be painted blue or whatever color you want, but you weren't supposed to make pretty designs and things like that on it. Well, I was making a pretty design or whatever on it, and someone said to me in the elevator after I was done for the day, and he saw me, and he said, "I thought you were supposed to only have the doors be one color." And I said, "It is one color. I'm just not doing a very good job of covering it." Take that witticism. It wasn't necessarily witty. I was speaking the truth, but killjoy. He's a killjoy. And I was trying to make something fun at the request of the owner, liven up this sometimes surprisingly uncreative building I live in. Most of the time it's okay, but sometimes it sort of is weird to me. Oh, we have some of the hallways in my building, and we have 15 hallways. There's 5 floors per building, and there's 2 buildings, but the one building is rather large, so it has kind of 2 hallways each floor. And there's some hallways that are full of art, and there's some hallways that you think no one lives here because it's completely devoid of anything. And I do what I can to decorate, as do a few other people who are somewhat prolific, actually, and they hang things in the hallway more for storage than to show people what they're doing. But anyway, there are killjoys in this building, though. Some are, in fact, killjoys. Now, this banging you hear in the distance, that was something that was happening on the other side of the building, and the people that are facing that direction were complaining about how this noise was driving them all crazy. And I can see kind of why they might be saying that, because it is repetitive. But use your imagination and pretend you're on a tramp steamer, and those are the sounds of the engines, and you're going to far off places. So this is not working for me. I just want I want to let you know. It's just, I need to have, I see these, maybe because I know they're there, I see this and this and this. I need things to go across the whole thing, and that'll happen. You know, I could have built this thing to be round, a column rather than a octagon, but I kind of like the idea of the octagon, so I just need some things spanning these areas, and that will happen when I assemble it in reality. This is not really sounding like a tramp steamer to me, though, is it? Hold on one second. that helping? Not really. I'll show you what's happening outside though. Something. There's a big crane. And they're sort of jackhammering something down. These are big pylons that are going to be holding up the train. Goodbye. I'll see you later. Are you getting dizzy yet? I'm about to puke.